You know, if you want to convince them of something or move them to something, move them away from consuming product and watching TV and crap all the time, okay? Or move them away from that kind of stuff. Don't focus on what they say that they believe. Same thing about politics in people in general, right? So why do people become leftists? Like, why do young kids become leftists, okay? It's easy. It's actually what we talked about earlier. Like, when people leave or join religion, it has more to do with social things than it does with, like, some argument. And it's the same thing with kids nowadays who are getting brainwashed and groomed and all this kind of stuff. The best way, and this is a Kaczynski point. People like talking about Kaczynski stuff, but he mentions this, that one thing that modernity tries to do is it takes away your felt ability to act on the world around you and make progress and control your life and things like this. And so when you're a kid, you are taught that you can't do anything, okay? You know, we have psychotic helicopter parents and things like that. You are always having to watch your words so you don't, like, say anything offensive. There's this, like, antipathy towards people who, like, every movie, every TV show, the villain is always, like, the blonde Chad, the guy who's, like, popular. He works out, he's fit, he takes care of himself. That's always the villain. Who's the good guy is always the absolute loser, the nerd, the guy who is ugly. He says awkward things. He's not in control of his body, stuff like that. You know, that is how things are presented to kids. And then they go to college, and they just get kind of inducted. Like really, the objective of education, if you look at it in terms of a brainwashing angle, is not to tell kids, you know, orange man bad, mustache man bad. That's not the point. That's not the real brainwashing. The real brainwashing is to get children to hate their parents, to hate themselves, to hate everything, to hate their religion, to hate their race, to hate their country, to hate everything. Because once they have severed themselves from everything, they have nothing but this new cult for them to join. And that's what happens, right? So how do you get someone out of that? Okay? This sounds really gay, but you have to be friends to those people, okay? You have to speak to them at their level. Not necessarily give consent to what the psychotic beliefs that they've been brainwashed to believe or whatever. But you have to, you know, people often say, like, if you want to change someone's politics, like, convince them to start working out and losing weight and stuff like this. Put them in control of their own bodies. Like, this is, like, how these, like, people think is they cannot, oh, I'm fat and ugly, I can't control anything. Oh, like, I have economic problems. Oh, capitalism has failed. All this kind of stuff, because they feel like they can't, they don't have any, like, initiative. That sounds like a kind of a boomer term, but, like, agency. Maybe agency is a better term, right? So a lot of people, you deprive people of agency, and this is the Kaczynski point. They naturally gravitate to leftism, because leftism is this kind of collectivist mentality that says we as a society have to do this. We have to act collectively, and you are a non-being if you're not part of this collective, right? So the real solution to convincing people or to red pilling people is not, oh, well, you know, look at all the times. I'm trying to think of an example. It's not the spurty things that you see in copy pasta, right? The way you red pill people is putting them in control of their own lives, getting them away from these negative people, checking them if they're sarcastic, checking them if they're doing negative things, being negative towards themselves or other people, encourage them to eat well, eat whole meats, eat good food, exercise, get a tan, a real tan outside, not in a tanning booth, you know, do physical labor, work out, whatever it is. These things will naturally, they're just the natural solution for all this kind of stuff, right? That's how it works. So, you know, we're partially waging a hormonal war. There's a way that's true. But yeah, this idea of, like, how do we convince people like that? You just have to improve their lives. And the system, the worst thing the system can do, obviously, is mutilate these people beyond repair, okay? If they destroy their lives so much, like if a woman has, like, been promiscuous for, like, 10 years and she's 35 and, like, doesn't have any marriage prospects, Like, she's more or less, I don't want to say she's more or less screwed, but she's kind of screwed. Like, she's so engrossed in that system, she can't do anything. Same thing with the transgender stuff. That's exactly what that is. Get people to physically mutilate their bodies. That is a lifelong commitment, right? So that is what the system's trying to do. And you can do, what you have to do on people around you is you have to bring them out of that. You have to give them control of their own life. You have to make them feel in control, because they are in control. Anyone who says, like, oh, I can't fix my life is just delusional. Like, you don't know how, like, you would, if you lost your legs tomorrow, like if you were in a wheelchair, you would just regret all the things you could do before, okay, that you can do right now. You know what I mean? Like, people have so much power in their lives to make money, to do things their own way, to be empowered of their own life, and like, they're just making excuses, and you have to make sure that people aren't making those excuses. So yeah, rational argument, that's not it. It's not about red pilling people with like facts about like race or Jews or something. That's cringe. That's cringe stuff. The reality, like, whatever red pill truths, they will come later. They will come naturally when you let someone stand on their own and make their own decisions and be confident and look at things reasonably. Then they will be able to be red pilled, right? But that is politics is downstream of that, right? So that's my